Hi there, this is Jacob Nash Algebra Lessons, and this is Unit 0, Lesson 5, on simplifying rational expressions. So, if you see what it says, wait, I thought you said there was nothing else in this unit. I did say that on the last lesson on accident. So sorry about that. There's actually 2 more, possibly 3 lessons. But that's okay. All this are things that you probably know from Algebra 2, but it's just review. Okay, I don't know why that just happened. If you see what it says Saturday, Saturday, and today is a Sunday when I'm making this. That's because if you know that how I usually say, like, hang on a second, I heard a beep, let's see if there's a crash. And there's usually is not. There was yesterday when I was about to make it. There was a crash and they had to put someone in an ambulance bed, so hopefully they were okay. But yeah, couldn't really tell what happened. But that's like the 7th crash I've seen out here. So pretty crazy. So remember, excluded values would make the denominator equal 0. So remember that. You have to say the excluded values, but if you don't, I'll show you what that means. So to simplify this, we have to see what we're doing. We're multiplying in this case. So, man, this thing is so dumb sometimes. I shouldn't scroll back up if I hit the undo button. So we need to factor these out to be able to do that. And really, when it's multiplying, you can just put this all on one thing. And then you have your 4 different sections that you factor. So let's look at the first one right here. It's a difference of squares. How we know that is because we can take the square root of 4, we can take the square root of a y squared and a 9, and it's difference. So we just take the square root of everything that we see and have 2 factors. So 2y plus 3, 2y minus 3. Remember, you can have more review on Jacob Nash Algebra Lessons if you need that. So then we'll look at this one right here. We can use the product sum method. What 2 things multiplied equal 6 to add equal 5? That would be 2 and 3. So y minus, we're going to say this for now, minus 2 minus 3, because we know those are 2 numbers, but let's figure out what signs. It needs to be a positive 5, and it needs to be a negative 6. Oh, okay. Well, actually, that won't work. Yeah, that won't work. See, sometimes we know that 2 and 3 can add equal 5, and in a sense it could multiply to equal negative 6, but not with any signs would that work. So we actually have to do 1 and 6. Sometimes that happens. Usually, though, if you find 2 numbers, they would work. So to make it a positive 5, we would have to do positive 6 minus 1, and then that would equal negative 6 if you multiply. So that's those. All right, down here, you would see this factor. This one's a little more annoying because the a value is 2. So to make it 1, we multiply the 2 by 18. That would mean negative 36. Now what do we know? We know that we can have factors y. We'll just say this for now. What 2 things multiplied equal 36 and add equal 19? Let's think. Let's see. Sometimes it takes a second to think of it. You can actually write out the things that multiplied equal 36 and you'll find it. Let's see. So not 1 and 36, not 2 and 18, not 12 and 3. Oh, wait, what? Oh, that's not a 19, that's a 9. I don't know where I got that from, sorry. So, yes, 12 and 3 if it's a 9. Alright, which one's positive, which one's negative? 12 positive to make positive 9 and negative 36. But we're not done, because remember we multiply that 2, so we divide by 2. So that gives us y plus 6, and then that doesn't divide out evenly, so you do 2y minus 3. The 2 just goes beside the y instead. So I'm going to erase that for now, because we'll have to do that again with this one, because it, again, doesn't have a as 1. So we get it to this, not 4, sorry, 6. Now, let's see, what can we use? We already can see 2 and 3. Might have not been this fast for you, that's okay. Then that would be a positive 3, because that makes it 1 and negative 6. Divide by 2 at the end, because we multiplied by 2. And that would give us y minus 1. And then 2y plus 3. And there you go. That is your answer. So what values are excluded? Well, anything that would make the denominator equal to 0. So before we finish simplifying, so the denominator, we'll think of the 4 factors we have here, and what value that you would put in for y would make it equal 0. You put that for the excluded value. So how we do that is y plus 6 equals 0, y is negative 6. So the excluded values so far that we know are negative 6. And you see how the process works. I don't have time to set it up equal to 0, but you would get 3 halves, 1, and negative 3 halves. That is your answers for that. Now, simplify. To know if it's simplified, some things have to cancel out if they're the same on the numerator and denominator. Let's see. Is there a 2y plus 3 on both parts? Yes. Same thing for that, same thing for that, same thing for that. So everything got canceled out. That's not usual, but what that means is that the answer is 1. Okay. That was that problem. Division, though, what do you do for that? Let's see. So when there's division, sometimes you actually might see it like this. And this can look really crazy if you see this. That looks very crazy, and what you can do is just make it into this form, because this just means divided by. But what we have to do is, well, we know when we're dividing fractions, you might have learned this stay, change, flip. So keep this the same, change the sign to multiplication, flip that fraction over, which is just a rule, reciprocal rule. So that's what we're going to do. X cubed divided by x plus 1 times, switch it, x squared plus 2x plus 1 over x. Now let's factor. X cubed cannot factor. X plus 1 cannot factor. This can factor. Oh, you didn't see me point because it. Yeah. That would be x plus 1, then over x. All right, now let's look at our excluded values. Okay, you might already see by this if x equaled -1 and if x equaled 0. But there's also, well, there's not really another value, but since we flipped over this fraction, we have to take into account of the values that were here too, because they once were in the denominator. So then that went here, and then when we factored it, it's here. And that's still -1, so we don't have to write anything else. But if this happened to be a x plus 3 on the top, because it used to be on the bottom, then you would do this. But it happens to be the same thing, so you don't have to write anything else. So that's your excluded values. I should really say x doesn't equal. I didn't mean to say that. And then up here, y doesn't equal. And then what can we cancel out? This, and that's it. So now we have, oh, actually, it's not completely simplified yet. Now, we see these two, this has an exponent of 1. We can subtract our exponents. 3 minus 1 equals 2, so that just leaves us with this. This is our answer, actually. So there you go. That is a review on simplifying rational expressions. There's a more in-depth lesson if you need it on the algebra lessons channel. But that'll be it for this video. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.